All right, so let's get started. So hello everyone, thank you for joining us today. My name is Rachel and I am the marketing manager for Asia Pacific here at Acquia. Today's presentation is called Total Business Impact, Powering Nextgen Digital Experience using Drupal and Acquia. So just a couple of housekeeping items before we get started. If you have questions for us, we are saving time at the end. So please be sure to use the Q&A or chat windows to submit your questions and we'll bring them up at the end. So this session is being recorded and we'll share it with you at the end of the session. All right, so we have with us today, Steve Khayes, our General Manager for APJ. Steven drives the vision and leads the growth for Acquia's digital experience business. So in addition, he is responsible for the company's regional enterprise sales organization and customer success functions, which are focused on supporting brands as they navigate digital transformation. And Vijay Pagadala, CEO of Srijan in APAC and Middle East. Vijay comes with more than 25 years of customer-focused experience in digital monetization. He spearheads the development and execute strategies to create shareholder value by providing tactical leadership to Srijan's clients in APAC and Middle Eastern markets. So without further ado, I'll pass it over to Steven to kick us off. All right, Steven, take it away.
Thank you, Rachel. Welcome, everyone. Hi, Vijay.
Hi, Stephen.
Great to speak with you today, and great to have Srijan here with Acquia talking about next-gen digital experiences. The idea behind this session is that Vijay and I are always talking with customers about their digital activities, their goals, their projects, and their problems. So we thought it'd be good to try. Let's come together and share some of these things and do it in a webinar and see how it goes. So welcome to the first one of these. We welcome some feedback. But I wanted to start with, Drupal is an amazing platform from an ROI perspective, from an enterprise perspective. There is no better enterprise content platform in the world today, particularly from an ROI point, because Drupal is open source, it's free. But supported Drupal cloud from Acquia is the leader in that supported space because there are a lot of things in Drupal you need to do above and beyond the product to ensure that it's ready for the enterprise. And Acquia manages more than 10,000 Drupal environments around the world. It means we've built tools to help with all those things you need to do on top of Drupal. Improve the speed, increase the security, reduce the costs of development, increase agility, make it easier for business users to do page updates with no code. So you don't need developers with the support of things like Site Studio. And then how do you help ensure customers get the right commercial platform, all the support they need? And that's what we deliver in Drupal Cloud. But it's only with the help from partners like Srijan that this story can be completed. So that's why today we want to talk about, some of the things around how we can help customers achieve more with less, get more value out of Drupal, reduce the cost of Drupal support and development, make better use of customer data, make upgrading easy, ensure everything is secure. And today we need everything fast, fast agility on that new idea, fast page load times, faster ROI, faster innovation. Everything needs to be so much quicker. And on top of all this, we're being asked from our customers to provide an omni-channel experience. And all of this is hard, it's difficult. So Vijay and I are going to talk about some of these things. And Vijay, let me kick it off. Many businesses traditionally just use websites and CMSs for the digital part of the business. So it was websites and CMSs. So now we see this evolving into multi-channel and omni-channel. But in this evolution, how do businesses manage all this?
Thank you, Stephen. It's always a pleasure to connect and talk to you. Yes, indeed, it is hard and a very pertinent question, pertinent context. Firstly, as you have rightly highlighted, the technology trends, content democratization and openness, personalization, security, speed, availability are all, the core of achieving, the main title of the topic, which is the total business impact. As you also rightly said, there is a fine access, connecting the client's team, the platform providers just as yourself and the systems integrators like Srijan in achieving this impact. As a company, we serve mostly large enterprises, and we have been observing two major trends. First is that the websites are moving from, primarily serving branding, visibility, and presence functions, mostly driven by the IT and marketing teams, to kind of serving more complex, multi-site, multi-country, multi-product, multi-persona business requirement. And at the heart of all these are the global multinationals that we are working with, especially in the beauty and cosmetic space, in the logistics, travel and transportation, manufacturing, pharma, retail. They are driving, this extension of websites, serving more complex functions. The second major trend we are seeing is that, websites and CMSs are becoming core revenue generation functions, revenue generation through personalization and unified brand experience. For example, the media and publishing industry, they are under pressure to generate revenues through, quality content and personalizing every B2B and B2C experience and journey. The primary reason here is lesser subscriptions on newspapers delivered at home, and there are even less subscriptions, to people who want to pay for reading news. So all these, these are the two major trends we have observed, and going forward, we could discuss some more, aspects that we are seeing in the industry.
Vijay, that's really helpful. I love it. Revenue generation through personalization and unified brand experience. It's really data-driven experiences. And then, for us, we're helping a lot of customers now on bringing together all their customer data into one place and using that customer data to then easily deliver on that revenue generation promise. So this is a really interesting one for me.
Yes. So Stephen, now in your experience in the, content management space, several decades, and working with several leading brands, what are the primary metrics for business impact, and how are these powered? What are your experiences around these metrics?
Thanks, Vijay. I think the primary metrics for business impact vary a lot across industry and company size. But if I were to, drill it down to, sort of three areas that we talk about, they're really across business, commercial, and platform. So from a business perspective, speed and agility, speed to market, performance of the platform, and agility. How do they look to fail fast and deliver quickly on their ideas? Commercially, the cost and return, what is it going to cost us? What's the ROI? What are the cost and business impacts in terms of profitability generation? And then platform, security, scalability, and availability are super key. So, for us now, we may speak with a university, and today they have a big focus on agility, on cost and security. Their business has been disrupted a lot, particularly in a time of COVID. They've all lost, in many cases, a lot of revenue. So this is a really big key piece for them.
Certainly agree. An example is with the media company, and that they have big focus on speed, cost, and agility. It's not to say other things are not important, but these are key.
Yeah. So, Vijay, Srijan's led digital experience and content transformation for several, large multi-site, multi-year projects and organizations. What's your experience been on measuring business impact? And if you could, support some of the empirical results, that you've been able to enable with such brands.
Thanks again, Stephen. You answered it, but let me take a shot at it. So going back to the metrics you stated earlier, speed and agility, cost versus return, security and scalability are all a good measure for business impact. So let me get across a common denominator, of business impact across several industry segments. And here, I would state a few implementation partners that we have been, working. For example, we work with media and publishing giants in North America that own close to 55 brands. We work with brands in Singapore, that own, more than 30 TV, radio, news channel, newsprint brands. Then we work with global multinationals, in the beauty tech space, present in, they have over 200 brands in 86 countries. And then down to the government space, we work with very large NGOs, mostly the United Nations agencies, they practically operate in every country globally. But they all have similar expectations. Number one, they want faster time to market for new sites and features. They expect over 75% increase in speed. Two, they want improved digital marketing teams, more productized. So they kind of expect more than 60% improvement here. And then the third is improved customer retention from increased audience engagement. And here, at least they're expecting about 25 to 40% experience. I would say these are the three key denominators in terms of business impact that across industries, they're kind of looking forward to, achieving and realizing these metrics. Then the other point I want to see, which is a major pain point since we are system integrators implementing large complex projects, what we are seeing is that all clients want seamless handshaking, between, the ecosystem of platform providers, hosting providers, system integrators, third-party, SaaS and other platform providers, so that these clients can focus on their core business, without disruption. So this is where, providers like Acquia come in, where there's a need for scale, bandwidth, speed, agility, that comfort of 24/7, that the business is running without disruption. And in the end, it just goes beyond consultants and delivery resources. It goes more into innovation. It goes more into accelerators to optimize, the time to market and to reduce the total cost of ownership. These are some of the points, Stephen. Yeah.
Thanks, Vijay. I think seamless handshaking is a big one. I think it's super important for us to be closely aligned, so there are no gaps for things to fall between. One of the things that we got from a recent study is that 86% of our customers worry about the integration cost, the integration process, and a lot of it is based, as you say, on how we've looked at that seamless handshaking and what those gaps could be, because often it falls on the customer. So I think that's a big call out, for our customers when they're thinking about projects. Okay,
so Stephen, these are interesting times, and the center of gravity of business interests are shifting towards, how they present themselves to the external world and interact with them. Now, we trust the Acquia Srijan partnership will go a long way in powering these enterprises, their business requirements and their revenue and profitability goals. So, it was a very beneficial chat so far, and looking forward to collaborating on wider interests and forums. But I really want you to touch upon, are there any other business parameters or metrics that we should be discussing that could be beneficial to the audience present here today, and the larger enterprise audience that will view this webinar and take some hints out of it.
Yeah, Vijay, I think as this is our first one, I think it'd be great for us to, hear from some of the audience, and then, we continue talking with our customers on what we should cover next. I think there's a lot of things that are, going to be great topics for us to collaborate on, particularly with the themes of seamless, handshaking, greater agility, greater speed to market. I think there's some great topics there for us to elaborate on further. Vijay, thank you like always. This is our first one. We've had a bit of a chat today. I'm keen to, us to evaluate this and look at how we make it better. We welcome everyone's feedback. But thank you to the audience for attending today. Rachel, how did we go with questions?
Wow. So thank you, Vijay. Thank you, Stephen. All right. So if anyone has any questions, please use the Q&A windows or the chat windows to submit them right now while we wait for you to input your questions. We have one coming in right now. So, question for the panel. So, can you provide some common examples for revenue generation across several industry segments? So maybe Vijay, you can start off.
Okay, thanks, Rachel. So I spoke earlier on one major trend we are seeing across our client base is that of revenue generation through personalization and unified brand experience. Now, be it in the beauty tech space, the cosmetic space, the media, retail, logistics, they all want superior editorial workflows in the backend. The IT teams, the marketing teams, the digital teams, and all these workflow productivity improvements that they realize in the backend, they want these to be translated to superior, unified experiences in the front end. So defining these journeys, defining these experiences with a specific view towards revenue generation is challenging, but definitely achievable. And this is where we are empowering our teams to kind of be more industry centric in their attitude, in their thinking. I mean, they're all technocrats, but then kind of enabling them to think more on the industry language, so that these revenue generation touch points and interactions could be well enabled and well facilitated. This is one example, and the other example of revenue generation we are seeing is simply pandemic times, brick and mortar infrastructure, revenue generation through these brick and mortar things has slowed down. And there is increasing shift towards web presence, even websites, to see how they could bridge the gaps. And these are some of the areas where we are seeing some examples where revenue generation is being enhanced and pronounced. Yeah, Stephen, would you like to add some examples?
Maybe just a little bit, Vijay. I agree with you. I think two things for me. One is revenue generation through putting content creation in the hands of the business. And how do you ensure that your business has all the tools to be, creating lots of great content? And that makes a big difference in revenue generation. The second part is data-driven content, and getting your data the data that you need into a tool or a way that your business and marketers can use that data to know what content to create, know what customer journeys to adjust or improve, know what colors to put on the screen, what changes to the business page are needed. It all comes back to data. And I think that's also still a big unknown for a lot of our customers, and might be a great topic for the next session around data-driven customer experiences. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephen.
All right. So, okay, so we are on time. So I'd like to thank you guys for all attending this session. And this recording will be sent to you guys on via email and also be posted on our website. So stay tuned for the next session, all right? Thank you guys. See you again.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rachel, for the facilitation. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.